is the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons! Brad the Big Noise Evans here. 'Tis indeed the Fade 5 Podcast. My compadre along for the ride, as always, Nathaniel Lundy, the good sir, as we are very much down the home stretch in the NHL as the players are getting underway here in short order. Next week, the puck's going to be dropped for some really meaningful action in the National Hockey League. I'm sure Lundy's going to share some of his picks here with the regular season about to be capped. We got the NBA playing games going down tonight, a pair of matchups on the dock there, and of course, a loaded slate of Major League Baseball. So, Lundy, hop aboard the honk honk plus bus, whether it's in the NHL, the NBA, or Major League Baseball, or somewhere else. What is your favorite longer odds wager north of plus 100 that you're seeing at the various sports books?
Let me roll with this one, and I understand that when we go by the bay, down by the bay, if you go down by the bay, frequently referred to, Brad, as a pitcher's park.
Yes, it is.
However, Mookie Betts is going to say, I will tell you where to stick your pitcher's park. Mookie Betts has a 500 lifetime average against Alex Wood. Of the 21 appearances he has made at the plate against Alex Wood, one of my most important stats that I pay attention to if I'm thinking about how I want to bet on a guy, how many strikeouts? Is he putting the ball in play or is he striking out? He's only got 2 strikeouts in 21 appearances against Alex Wood. He's got 9 hits. 3 of them are home runs. 1 of them is a triple. 1 of them is a double. He's got an 1167 slugging percentage against Alex Wood. So, over there at DraftKings, Brad, hits plus runs plus RBI. His is at over 2.5 at plus 120. I say Betts has him a night by the bay tonight. Normally that hits, runs, RBI prop sits at 1.5. Betts is boosted up to 2.5. I like him for it anyway. It's plus 120 at DK. That's my favorite plus odds for tonight.
Oh, that's a sexy wager there. Yeah, I saw him. 2,188 OPS to add to the laundry list of reasons why you should be wagering on anything Mookie Betts related tonight. For mine, I'm going to go somewhere a little bit further north, and I am going to focus on the Toronto Blue Jays and their matchup tonight, and I'm going to do this SGP style. So, Lundy, maybe you'll come with me on this. Give me Toronto minus 1.5 on the run line. I mean, they got to win by 2 runs or more, and then I'm going to parlay that action at DraftKings with Alex Manoah, 5 or more strikeouts. Do you see that? Plus 126 with your odds boost there at DraftKings on a same game parlay. They're taking on the Detroit Tigers, and the Tigers, those Hello Kitties of Detroit, are alive and very well. They are 2-7 against the run line to begin the season. Now Toronto is even Steven 5-5 in that category, but it's all about Manoah. I think he's going to win this game with relative ease. Detroit has struck out the second most times of any Major League Baseball team this season, 26.9% of the time to be exact. Manoah in 2 starts, he only went for 3 Ks and 1 against the Cardinals, but 5 Ks in the other matchup in Kansas City. Had kind of a rocky performance last year in his lone squaring off with Detroit, 5 1/3 innings pitch, 4 earned runs and 4 strikeouts. But again, it's all about maximizing that matchup. I think Manoah easily coast to 5 strikeouts, given Detroit's propensity for swings and a miss. And not only that, but Toronto is winning this sucker by 2 or more. So jump on that if you're getting enticed and seduced by the Jews. With the plus bus revving its engine, let's get after it with a Tuesday edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
All right, numero cinco on the countdown today. We're going to go with a simple singles prop. I just need one. That's all. From Willy Adames of the Milwaukee Brewers, taking on the Arizona Slithering Snakes down there in the Sonoran Desert. I think he's going to do this, maybe in first at bat. He's 5 for 12 lifetime against Merrill Kelly with 4 single base hits. So just, touching first base, that's it. Not rounded for a double, not getting a triple or a home run. He's been over this number 7 times already this season. And if you look at Merrill Kelly in 9 1/3 innings pitch, yeah, he's got a 3.86 ERA. That is respectable. But he peel back those layers of the onion, a 5.64 xFIP. So it's saying, I know it's a small sample size, but he's been somewhat lucky to begin the year. All I need from Willy Adames is to find a little bloop single into left field, right field, center field, any field. It's dealer's choice, Adames. And if he does that, we score a winner at plus money, plus 105 at BetMGM. Lundy, fade or follow?
I don't normally like trying to zero in on exactly what the hit will be. I just like hits. I like being a little more all-inclusive, shall we say, like going down to the resorts in Cancun. I'm looking for the all-inclusive, right? That's all. That's all I'm throwing out there for you. So, but for a single, sure, I'll play your game here on this one on the road against the Snakes. I'll take this one. You're talking about a bloop. I want a no-doubter. I want like a line drive right over the shortstop's head, hits the grass. We're cashing tickets.
Remove a man, decapitate a man. If you have to, Willy Adames, just get us a laser or a looper into the outfield, and we score a winner.
Number 4.
All right, numero cuatro on the countdown today, staying in the world of Major League Baseball, and this is another juicy proposition on the board. Hunter Renfroe of the LA Angels. I've seen him score a run. Touch on plate just one time, and we, again, cash a winning ticket. You can see the juice there. Oh, yeah. Work those shoulders. Get seduced by that juice at plus 125 at BetMGM. This is a very sexy option on the board. You look at Renfroe, he's been white hot at the dish. He has gone over this number in his last 3 games, and he has gone over in 6 of his first 9 nice matchups this season. A guy hitting 282 overall with a 364 on base percentage. So let's get on base, whether it's via the hit or via the walk, via an error. It doesn't matter to me. I've seen him around the bases and come in. He's facing Josiah Gray in the Washington Nationals, and Gray, he's only faced him twice. Has not done anything against him, but dose, that is it in terms of sample size. Very muy pequeño overall, but you look at the LA Angels, number 3 on the season in total runs scored with 60 already put up on the board. A lot of those coming from Renfroe, and I think he does it again. Hopefully, somebody in the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spot, because usually hits cleanup for the Angels, will knock him in and make this a no-doubter. So fade or follow Hunter Renfroe to score a run against Washington, plus 125 at BetMGM.
I'm just feeling I've had some profitability lately in the baseball world.
Yeah, me too.
So, not going to pull a muscle here, pat myself on the back, but it's been pretty good, and I've got one of my favorites to be able to share with you coming up in bonus time. So I like this one. I gave you at the beginning. Hit the rewind button. I gave you at the beginning the ideas of the hits, runs, RBIs. There are some guys that I absolutely love playing that particular bet on. Aaron Judge is one of them. Shohei Ohtani is one of them. Guys like that. I think
Trout.
Trout's a good one for it. And there's a couple other guys I'll talk about here in a second. But Renfroe is a guy I'm kind of feeling it out a little bit. All right, I'm feeling it out a little bit. But I think he may be one of those guys that I'm going to start having some fun on the hits, runs, RBI bet with, because when he gets rolling, and you may see it in a couple of games in a row. But I like him just straight up on the run. Good call. Plus odds, baby. Oh, sexy on a Tuesday.
Yeah, feel yourself up in all those sensitive areas. If this cashes, score a run, Renfroe.
Number 3.
All right, let's go to the playing games in the NBA. And first on the board, LeBron, the king, bowed down. LeBron James and the LA Lakers taking on Minnesota in their playing matchup. And I'm taking the under, believe it or not. And this may be a bit of a dice roll and a risky proposition, to say the least, against those T-Wolves. The number is sitting at 2.5 made threes on that under at plus 105. I can't wager on the over at minus 140, minus 145 at a couple of books. I think the value here is tucking under that 2.5 number. Look, I know LeBron has been electric here from three. His last 37 attempts, he's hit 18 triples. That's 48.6%. He's been cruising past this number in actually his last 4 straight games. He has chucked in at least 3 triples, but I think the streak stops because you look at what he has done against Minnesota this season, and, you know, it's not anywhere close to this. 1 made 3 and 1 made 3. And one of the calling cards at T-Wolves is their strength in perimeter defense. Over their final 10 games in the NBA regular season, they allowed the second fewest three-pointers made of any team in the NBA. Just 9.9 in that category and only 27.8%. That's an unsightly matchup there on paper. So I know it's LeBron. I figure the Lakers are going to win. They're heavy favorites here. We've seen the line skyrocket from minus 5.5, and at some books up to minus 8.5 right now. It could touch minus 9.5, minus 10 by tip time, the way this sucker is trending skyward. But I don't think LeBron is going to hit 3 triples in this one. Mark me down for 2. I think me mateys. Captain Hook is going to be oh so kind of us. And if you take the under, we're going to make a little booty on this bet. So fade or follow, Lundy. I got to slap that ass. LeBron under 2.5 made threes versus the T-Wolves plus 105 at BetMGM.
You had me at booty. Right there. Boom. You had me at booty. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one. This is probably one that I would pass on, or I would try to do a 1-game, same-game parlay out of this and maybe take him for like 2 or something. You know what I mean? Like maybe I just need 1 or more or whatever.
Yeah, with like the Lakers on a reduced line, maybe Lakers, money line, there's no value there at all. But like Lakers minus 2.5, minus 3.5, and LeBron 2 made threes. That makes sense. There's
some motivation here for both of these teams because, look, if you win this game, you get Memphis instead of Denver. And the Nuggets have not looked good. Don't get me started. Please do not get me on my soapbox because we'll be here for an hour and a half about how Denver has looked here over the course of the last couple of weeks. Let me just say, if you are an aspiring NBA head coach, get your resume ready for Denver. But with this one, I think there's a lot of motivation for both of these teams, but you got LA at home. They're heavy favorites. If they win, they get Memphis. We already know the Grizz are not going to have Steven Adams. That is a huge blow to Memphis as they go into the playoffs. And so if you are the 7, which the winner of this game winds up locking in and playing Memphis, you've got a really good opportunity to make it to the second round. So I think there's a lot of motivation, and that's why I probably would pass on this bet because LeBron knows it. And King James is going to show up, and he knows that if they get that victory, they can move on and get to play Memphis. He might go out there and pop 2 threes in the first half, and then all you're doing is waiting for 1 more. I know he went 1 for 3 and 1 for 6 in the 2 matchups that he had against Minnesota this season. You're right. He's only got 2 total, but this one makes me a little nervous because every now and then LeBron can shift into another gear, and it's the postseason, and that's when he tends to do it.
Yeah, and I'm going to have egg likely on my face. Just hit the under on 1 category, LeBron. You can go off elsewhere, just not on 3-pointers made.
Number 2.
All right, numero dos on the Fate 5 podcast today. Let's go back to the NBA, the play-in matchups. In the other game, we got Miami in their matchup against John Collins and the Atlanta Hawks. Or Trae Young, really, the Atlanta Hawks. But I like Collins, speaking of, to make. Now, unlike LeBron, he is going to hit at least 2 threes and maybe even 3 or more, to be honest with you. So I like the over on 1.5 made triples against the Heat. And you see the juice there. Oh, it is sexy at plus 148, available at FanDuel Sportsbook. Why do I like Collins? Well, a guy similar to LeBron who has been scorching hot in fuego from along the arc here down the home stretch, hitting the over comfortably in 4 of his last 6 games. Now, in 4 matchups earlier this season against the Miami Heat, he only went for 1, 0, 0, and 1. Yikes. History is clearly not on his side. That's why this line is juiced up as a result. But you look at Miami. Where have they struggled defensively here over the last month or so? It's been along the perimeter. In their final 10 regular season games, the Heat allowed the third most three-pointers made at 13.1 in the NBA, giving them close to 35% from distance. So, again, I'm going to play the matchup here. I'm going to ride that hot hand with Collins and also get sucked in by that very attractive plus 148 juice at FanDuel and let it ride. Lundy, you got to saddle up with me on John Collins over 1.5 made threes against the Miami Heat. Fade or follow.
Are you on tilt because college basketball's over? Is that
I'm always on tilt when college basketball is over. I am glued to the transfer portal right now as an Illinois fan. Picked up 2 critical players yesterday in that portal. But yeah, there's more dominoes to drop. Yeah, I mean, I'm largely betting on baseball, barely touching the NBA. So if I'm getting, lured by anything, that fat hot dog on a stick, it's got to be a plus money.
Okay, because that's what's happening is you're throwing a lot of plus money out there, which is sometimes what happens when you're on tilt and you're trying to rebuild parts of your bank account. And so that's why I was checking. I was a little concerned because you're just getting pulled in by all the plus odds stuff.
Yeah, I am.
And, 2 for plus 1. Okay. Yeah, I can see this one. You're digging in some of these picks today. And I'm not climbing down into that ditch with you. I just, I'm going to let you play in the mud. I'm going to be over here. That's I'm waiting for some more hockey fun. You go play in the dirt. You just keep digging yourself a hole.
Yeah, that hole may be my grave on John Collins if the over does not hit. But screw it. Jack some threes, John, and let's score another winning ticket.
Number 1.
Oh, what a quinky dink. It's the NBA again here, number 1 of the Fade 5. And once again, it is plus money. And it is the biggest amount of plus money of all the bets featured on the podcast today. Wham, bam! Thank you, sir, Adebayo. Hopefully on the over 1.5 steals. I need those active hands. Those active hands. That's all I need. It's like Honda and the classic video game Street Fighter from back in the day. Just work those hands quickly. Get a couple of swipes, and we score a winner at plus 180, Lundy, at BetMGM, and maybe you'll get enticed by this one. Let me give you a little background story about Bam Adebayo and why I love this. You look at the Atlanta Hawks in their last 10 games, they allowed the 12th most steals per contest to opponents in the NBA, giving us specifically 7.3 per contest in that category. Adebayo did this not once, but twice in 4 matchups against the ATL this season, and he actually doubled this number. He had 3 steals and 3 steals, and each of the times he went over. Did register a steal in the 2 other matchups that he faced the Hawks with, but didn't quite get that second steal and that over. But we have a history here, although the recency bias is not exactly, moving the meter a whole lot. You look at Bam, he's only been over this once in his last 5 games entering the postseason. But again, given Atlanta's struggles protecting the basketball, particularly in the interior, given the prior success of Adebayo in this category, and the extraordinary value on the line at plus 180 at BetMGM, I cannot resist playing this. So, Lundy, fade or follow, is this line irresistible to you on Bam Adebayo over 1.5 steals plus 180 again at BetMGM?
Simply irresistible. Yes. I'm in for this at a plus 180. I like the idea of him getting a couple of swipes in this contest. So yeah, you got me on this one. If this were tinkering around at plus 115, screw you. Go play in like I said, go play in the mud by yourself. Which is probably what your parents told you when you were a kid. Just go play in traffic, Brad. It'll be fine. Go ahead.
Well, I was honestly, when I was a child, I was shaped like a pig, so it only made sense for me to roll around the mud.
Well, there you go. Yes, this one I do like because the plus 180 does it for me. I do like this one. All right, I'll participate in this particular prop. All right.
Lundy Biter, they're taking on the plus bus with me as we close out those NBA play-in wagers.
I don't know what to do.
Time.
I don't know what to do. College basketball's done. I got to find something to keep me occupied.
I'm wagering living hell out of Major League Baseball right now. I'm just dabbling in the NBA. But one sport I will not remotely touch is a sport that you love and adore, and that is the NHL. A, because I cannot pronounce any of the actual names or spell them.
Yes, you can. Quit
and B,
being such a wimpy bitch. Come on.
And B, I still don't understand what the hell icing is. I always turn it off in NHL. A 95 back in the day on the Sega Genesis. But Lundy, you have the floor or the ice. What do you like tonight?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're wimping out, and it's just it's really unbecoming of you, Brad. It's really, I don't. All right, let me go to the ice. Let's look at plus odds for an anytime goal on a guy that is getting plus odds simply because he seems to be trying to get himself back into the flow. That's Kirill Kaprizov of the Minnesota Wild. When you talk about Kaprizov, here's the thing you need to know. Okay, he missed a month. Okay, he finally came back over the weekend. He missed a month, and despite all of that, he still leads the team in points and in goals. He was gone for a month. And with all of that in mind, he has yet to score since he came back. And so over at DraftKings, you can get him for an anytime goal at plus 110. In full disclosure, this is a bet that I made on him yesterday, thinking for sure he was going to be able to find the back of the net, taking on the shitty Blackhawks, and it didn't happen. So I'm doubling down on this one for tonight at plus odds at plus 110. I say Kaprizov finds the back of the net. Minnesota at home taking on Winnipeg. Winnipeg has won 4 out of their last 5. Minnesota did beat Chicago yesterday 4-2. Just none of it was Kaprizov. So I will take that one. In the Edmonton-Colorado game tonight here in Denver, take the over at 6.5. I think both of these teams are going to be scoring and scoring at will on the ice. All right, let me turn my attention from there back over to Major League Baseball. I told you I like Mookie Betts over on the 2.5 runs plus RBI plus hits. I also just like him straight up for a home run. Again, I know it's San Francisco. I understand the park. I know where it sits. I understand geography, you assholes. But I'm just telling you, he performs against Alex Wood. So I'm throwing him out there for a home run just give me something, Mookie.
Well, I'm taking total bases as well. So you and I are kumbaya, symbiotic on this. Total bases at BetMGM right now is minus 110. But the home run obviously is very juicy. It's gonna be like play plus what, 250?
Yeah, I had it in front of me, and then Brad, I've got like 97 windows open on my computer right now. Like, if at any, in all honesty, folks, if at any point in this podcast or in the video that our audio or video has locked up, it's probably my fault because I do have an absolute shitload of windows open right now on my computer. So anyway, going back to bets, I like that one. In full disclosure, I got this number last night when it opened at 11. It is all the way up to 12. I told you I like scoring at Ball Arena tonight between Edmonton and the Avalanche. I also like scoring tonight between the Cardinals and the Rockies. Folks, it is supposed to be 83 degrees here in Denver today. You add the altitude to that dry, warm air, and that ball is going to be popping again today. I know Kyle Freeland has looked good for the Rockies. He's been the best performer for them so far in the very young season, but eventually that shit catches up to him, and I think St. Louis manages to get some runs. I believe Colorado here in this homestand, they took on the Nats in a 4-game series. Now it's the Cardinals. They've managed to hit the over in every game except the very first one, which was 1-0 on opening day, which was ridiculously boring, but they've been hitting runs ever since. So I got it at 11. It's up to 12. Frankly, I still like it at the 12. All right, if you've been following me on Twitter, Brad, you know how much fun I've been having with stolen bases. Oh, baby. went 2 for 3 on stolen bases last night. Thank you, Cedric Mullins, who is almost automatic at this point. And thank you, Arozarena, who both went for a stolen bag last night. Let me give you Chas McCormick of your Houston Astros. He's already got 3 steals on the season. He's taking on Christian Javier, who has allowed the most stolen bases so far this season. He has given up 6 of the steals so far. So I like Chas McCormick. He is at a plus 475 to grab you a stolen base later today. The other guy that I like is Trey Turner of the Phillies going up against Jesus Luzardo of Miami. Luzardo's allowed a couple of stolen bases. Trey Turner has 2 on the season, including 1 yesterday. And then if you really want to get crazy with the cheese whiz, all right, and I'm talking crazy, Brad, how does plus 750 odds sound to you?
Let me remove my belt and then my pants, please.
Plus 750 for Bryson Stott of the Philadelphia Phillies to have a stolen base. Okay. Again, going up against Luzardo, who has allowed it to happen twice to him already this season. Stott has stolen bases in the last 48 hours. He's got 2 of them. Back-to-back games, he's swiped a bag, and he's plus 750. If they're giving him any kind of a green light there in Philly to just basically be like, all right, screw it. If you're feeling it, go for it. Then I say the second baseman for the Phillies might grab himself another one today. So those are my 3 favorite stolen base bets. Chas McCormick, Bryson Stott, Trey Turner, those 3 guys. And the lowest of those odds, by the way, is Trey Turner at plus 320. So I throw all of those at you. There's my bets for today. Not a ton of hockey because we are coming down the stretch of the regular season, which means you're talking about some of these games are meaningless for teams that are already locked in. The West is still kind of up in the air in terms of who's going to play who. So I'm staying away from some of the hockey stuff until we lock in the playoffs, which get underway in less than a week. Regular season will wrap up this Friday, and then we get ready for the Stanley Cup playoffs. So there we go. Long-winded Nate Lundy will shut up now and hand the microphone back over to the gentleman from Illinois.
Yes, and I'll rapidly plow through some of these bonus time bets. Let's get a Team Waivos parlay play on the board. This is how I'm attacking the playing games in the NBA. Give me the Atlanta Hawks straight up on the money line, and then give me the Lakers to cover. I got it at 8. I know line some places right now minus 8.5. Regardless, I play that up to like 9, 9.5. But I still like the ATL to steal the victory down there on South Beach. And look at that, plus 415. Huevos Gigantes there at DraftKings. Again, really, Atlanta, I know they're 1-3 straight up against Miami on the season, but a team that is near mirror image, statistically speaking, in some of the advanced analytics categories. So they got a fighting chance, especially given the shortcomings defensively of the Heat outside. So with Collins gets hot, if Trae Young gets hot from outside, there is a very good chance that Atlanta steals a victory in that play-in matchups in Miami. And then you look at the LA Lakers, you just fade Minnesota. I mean, for crying out loud. That's the bottom line here. Do you need a reason? I do not. AD is looking like AD. LeBron is looking like himself. LeBron, it doesn't matter what anybody else really does with this matchup. They're going to go out there at home, cruise, and lay the smackdown. So I like them minus the 8 on that 2-legger. All right, elsewhere in baseball, I got 3 additional bets. I talk about how sizzling warm it's going to be there in the Mile High City. So let's get a 2-leg OGP on the board for the visiting squad. Tyler O'Neill, 2+ total bases, and Nolan Arenado, the former Colorado Rocky, 2+ total bases as well. That occurs plus 185 at DraftKings. Both these guys got great histories against Kyle Freeland. O'Neill is 4 for 7 with an extra base knock lifetime against him. O'Neill has also gotten over 1.5 total bases in 3 matchups already this season. Meanwhile, Arenado, 4 for 8 lifetime against Kyle Freeland with a couple of extra base hits, and he's gotten at least 2 total bases in a game 4 times this year. So I know Freeland's been dynamite to start the season, but the correction is going to be made today, again, given the elevated temperatures and the elevation overall in Colorado. Yes, sir.
All right, real quick, because you brought that up, I wanted to mention when the lines come out for tomorrow, when you see the Cardinals and the Rockies, take the flipping over the moment it opens, folks. It is 83 degrees today. It is going to be 81 tomorrow, and that's a day game tomorrow.
Oh, baby!
They're playing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if it opens at 10 and a half, 11, 11 and a half, I don't give a shit. Take the over because it's going to be hot and a day game here in Denver tomorrow. So the moment that line opens, folks, jump on it. And then, Brad, I built another one real quick. We were talking about made threes in the Hawks Heat game. Here's a same game parlay on DraftKings for you. I need 1 3-pointer out of your boy John Collins, and I need 1 3-pointer out of Jimmy Butler, which he's actually done in 5 out of his last 10 games. That pays you at a plus 120. And one more real quick, Marcus Semien, take the over on his total bases at 1.5 at plus 100. He went 0 for 4 yesterday against the Royals, despite the fact that Texas put an 11 spot on the board against him. So I say Semien bounces back in this one and gets the total bases. He's got a 500 lifetime average against Jordan Lyles.
Yeah, I totally agree with that one. Speaking of I don't give a shit, that was my dominant feeling when I saw Jesus Luzardo was toeing the rubber today. I did not give a flying shit what the strikeouts prop was going to be. I was hammering the over, and it is it's 6.5 against Philadelphia. And of course, I took the over there. A little bit juicier, minus 130, minus 135. Shop around, find the best juice you can in the business. But a guy who's done this once and 2 starts already this season. He had 10 strikeouts against Minnesota, only 5 Ks against the New York Mets, but a sterling 17.4 swinging strike percentage so far this year. And his fastball is clocking out at 97.4 miles per hour. The slider at 96.7 and fooling dudes in the process. And Philadelphia has struck out the 5th most times of any team in Major League Baseball this season, 26.1% of the time to be exact. So I like the over there. And then last, and certainly not least, I love the hit only parlay. So a 2-leg, just get a hit. Adley Rutschman of the Baltimore Orioles, their stud young player there. He's taking on Oakland, and Kyle Muller and Eric Hosmer of my Chicago Cubs take on Seattle and Chris Flexen. Both those guys are sure a hit. That's plus 102 real quickly. Rutschman, 8 for his first 11. He has got a hit in 8 of his first 11 games. He's done this in 4 straight games. Muller has given up 8 hits and 10.2 innings pitched so far this season. As for Hosmer, 2 for 5 lifetime against Chris Flexen, but he has hit the over in 4 of his last 6, and Flexen at 9 innings pitched this season, a respectable 3.00 ERA, but has allowed 6 hits. And it's going to be a warm day on the north side there in Chicago as well. We are out of time here on the Fade 5 podcast. Do us a favor. If you enjoy this show, drop us a rating and a review at your convenience. Also, fade or follow us on the Twitter. Check out Lundy and his free spreadsheet picks at Nate Lundy. Check out my free spreadsheet picks at Noisy Huevos. For Nate Lundy, I'm Brad Evans. Until next time, as always, feed or follow. That is up to you.